Abby with Motor City Nerds. My dog knocked my light down. It might be broken. Apparently, I didn't record my intro or half of what I was saying. We're going to get into who owns the rights to Lord of the Rings, who can do what. Peter Jackson. Somebody talk to Peter Jackson. Oh my gosh, that happened. Okay, we're going to get into that. Oh, and we're going to get into how everybody's saying that race is a factor for any of this. Kind of, you're just... I mean, let's get real. You want clicks and you want views, and that is if that's what you're gonna do, whatevs. But don't sit here and say that it's because you love Tolkien. Hi to all the new subscribers. Welcome. Hit the like button. It's free. It really, really helps me out. And yeah, I'm happy to have anybody here. I really appreciate it. But let's get right into this. Let's just get right into it. Just saying this online. Explaining the rights to this is just as confusing as trying to explain to somebody who's never known anything about Middle Earth, the Silmarillion. Like, I've never seen anything like this. When it comes to explaining things like Spider-Man back before it went fully over to Disney, or X-Men, it was like this. Fox had them on loan from Disney, and they said as long as you put out a movie every X amount of years, you retain the rights. Oh, Art, please, you're really in a bad spot. As long as they put out a movie every X amount of years, if my dog knocks everything over, I'm sorry, they could keep the rights. So that's why they didn't care if the movies were good or bad. They could literally put out somebody dancing around for 2 hours doing nothing in a Spider-Man suit, and they could keep the rights until Disney and them fought all over it and bought things, and then they got the rights fully back. Okay, this is way different. This is crazy. That went really well. I told you guys. You just knocked it over. You're okay. J.R.R. Tolkien's estate owns everything. They own the Silmarillion, everything. They own the book. Obviously, they have the rights to everything. Warner Brothers owns the right to make films off of anything that is in the Lord of the Rings books. That means epilogue, prologue, and book. And The Hobbit. They can make films. That's why next year they're coming out the Rohirrim movie. I'm pretty sure it's going to be animated, right? I think an animated thing is the best way to go. Amazon, they own the rights to doing a TV series, okay? They own the rights to that, but they cannot use anything that is not in the Lord of the Rings books. They cannot do a continuation, and they can use things that were in The Hobbit. That means names, all of that. They can use. But that is why we won't get certain things in season 2 and 3 or whatever of Rings of Power. This is why people are guessing that next season we will get Shelob and not a nod to Ungoliath. Neither Warner Brothers nor Amazon have the rights to use the Silmarillion, okay? Which I think is their best bet. We have one bad guy, Morgoth, and we're going for him. That the normies can get on board with. This other stuff, I think Rohirrim will do good, and then there's a couple other things I can think of that might do well, but then my movie brain kicks in. And I'm like, these things are hard to adapt, and you have to remember that film is a different medium. Normies do not want every little thing crammed in. I was nervous with Rings of Power. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing ever, but when my sister, who doesn't know the difference between a Horcrux, the One Ring, Magneto's going to Mordor, and she said she liked it, part of me was like, oh, good, I'm glad. But the other part of me, my stomach was sinking. I was like, oh no, this is bad. If this normie of a normie really, really likes it, like you are the top scale normie, I don't know. This could be rough. I don't know if people kept up with it. So yeah, Amazon can do a TV series. Warner Brothers can do a movie, but they both cannot use the other works Tolkien has outside of Lord of the Rings books and the Hobbit books. They cannot go outside of those. Bing, bang, boom. There we go. Also, everybody's saying Glorfindel. Yes, we like him, but the normies aren't going to know who the hell that is. An adaptation is different. When you are just going, hey, we need to make it a movie, like that is very different from a book. But we need something where it's A, B, C. And I'm thinking of things that could be, but I don't want an Aragorn prequel. We know where he ends up. But it could be cool. I like the War of the Rohirrim. That's a great idea. There's so much they could do, but you need the right people doing it. A lot of people are saying they want the Witch King of Angmar and all that. Like, I would love that. The Witch King of Angmar is my fave, okay? But that one could work. I could see that one working. But when it comes to, like, fundamentally, was Rings of Power from turning off my fan brain and turning on my movie film brain, was it horrible? No, it was fine. It was good. It wasn't the greatest thing since sliced bread. It wasn't the greatest Lord of the Rings thing, but I was fine with it. It took me a minute to be okay with it, but I am. Something else I want to talk about, too. Because it seems to me there's a lot, not all, but there's a lot of clickbaity people out there that are using being gross racists to talk about Rings of Power. And you just want clicks and views, and that's what you want. It came out the other day that the cast of Rings of Power was talking about how they combat this and how crazy it's been. And I was like, this is sad, because you want to call yourself a Tolkien fan? You guys want to call yourself Tolkien stans? Okay, well, what about this? What about standing by your fellow man? What about being there for each other? What about coming together as people? Those are the big themes here, and yet you guys are crapping all over that.
I thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf.
What about side by side with a friend?
I could do that.
Not just that, I have yet to hear anybody use an actual argument, and my only one I can think of, because I don't care, make it diverse. As long as they're made well, I could care less who is playing them, as long as it is done well. If it's one thing studios have shown us, is that they do not care. They want to make money, okay? So please, I would just rather have it be good than care about if somebody is a different color. Also, here's my thing. I was like, okay, let me think from the other side, and like a piece of trash. And all I could come up with is, if you were a real stan, you would say, well, Tolkien always said that he was trying to create English, specifically England, myths, because he felt as if England had become such a vast empire that all of these myths and legends from around it, from these places it conquered, kind of mixed in and bastardized England's direct myths and legends. So he wanted to make England's own, and that would be pretty white. So if you wanted to argue that, there you go. There's something to stand on. There's going, hey, this is what J.R.R. Tolkien said. He never explicitly said. Do you want to know? I was rereading Fellowship not that long ago. Not once did they bring up anybody's race. Not once. For the first half of the book, I don't think I've heard them describe anybody's race, which is funny to me. But also, yes, if you wanted to argue that, that's what I would say. If you're not a trash human who's just looking for clicks and views, and you're not a trash human who's just bigoted, I would say, well, he wanted this to be a very English thing. He wanted this to be English myths and legends. So, like, gods. And if you were going to do gods of one place and all the people are that color, you would make them that color. And there you go. There's your argument. But no, that's not what anybody's saying out here. You're all just going like, hey, we're gross. I want clicks and views. This is bad. No, I liked the dwarf wife. I thought she was fun and great and played the part well. I liked her. So what are you crying about? What are you crying about? That you need to rely on stupidity and bigotry to get clicks and views? I'm tiny over here. I know I won't get that many views. But hey, I'd rather do that than go, let's make things up. I don't know. It's one of those things. Okay, and then we got this big one that Peter Jackson met with Warner Brothers like a few days ago. Then I read the article, and like I always say, how do people get these jobs? How do you get the job to write in circles and then just say, but nothing really came of it? We don't have any definitive news. They've been saying, this ain't nothing new, that him, the other writers, and the main producers have all been in the loop with everything that Warner Brothers wants to do with Lord of the Rings. They are always in the loop, which makes me think, are you going to be in a Kevin Feige role? Are you going to be in charge of like a Middle-earth universe? Is that what they're going to do with Peter Jackson? Because I wouldn't mind seeing somebody else's take on it, but I would mind if Peter Jackson is or is not involved, because he genuinely loves this world. That's our Lord and Savior. So it's not so much like who owns what, it's who can do what. So we need to think of something that they can adapt correctly, like on film, that will work. And like I said, the only one I can think of is like, we're going up against Morgoth. Nobody can use that. We can't use that. Then we have some other stuff, and some people were saying they'd really like to see the Dunedain. Some people were saying some other stuff, and I'm like, yeah, all of that sounds really, really great. All of that sounds really awesome, but it sounds real expansive. We need bing, bang, boom. Frodo gets the ring, he goes on an adventure, he throws it in Mount Doom. We can storyboard around that. Abby's movie brain is kicking in now. But these other ones are so expansive that I'm like, yeah, Against the Witch King of Angmar would work, theoretically speaking. What are we doing with Aragorn? What's the goal? He's just running around the town, like he's just meeting people. Like, what are we doing with Aragorn that makes me go, why? And I don't like prequels, but this is different. This has so much lore that it's very different. But I'm really trying to be on your guys' side. I'm really like, but what with Aragorn? But what? Now there are things in the epilogue and prologue. Technically, they can use that. Theoretically, they can use that. I don't know how much there is, but you can roll the dice. Peter Jackson has not made a statement. He has not. They literally came out with an article 5 days ago that said, but it really didn't come of anything, and there's no statement to be made. We've known for the last 3 months that they've been in the loop and they've been being told what's going on and who owns what with Lord of the Rings. The only thing I can think of is if the Tolkien estate is secretly talking to one of them, and I doubt it's Amazon. I guarantee that Warner Brothers wants Peter Jackson on board so that they can persuade the Tolkien estate to allow them to do more. Smart. The amount of hate going towards the Rings of Power cast is insane. It's insane. And then you want to call yourself a Tolkien fan? Shut up. Sit down. Sit down. That just shocked me today. I was like, wow, man, you guys are gross. Like, if you're really doing that to people, all because, wow, you need to chill. Theoretically, Warner Brothers could come out with a second age movie, just like where Rings of Power is, and say stick it. They could if they really wanted to. And if you really hate what's coming out, don't watch it. Go read the book. You can do that. You have the option to do that. But if we want good adaptations, we need the correct people on it. We need someone who cares about this world, and we need the studio to back off. That's what we need. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear some rumblings around the town that it's like the Tolkien estate is talking to Warner Brothers because they got Peter Jackson and when they know he cares, or loaning it for a certain amount of time. And then if they're like, no, we hate this, pulling the plug. I think it'll be a very strategic thing. But yeah, no, I definitely think Rings of Power is going to struggle. I never said it wasn't. I'm like, I think you're going to struggle. I think you're really going to struggle with your second and third seasons. I really, really do, because you don't have the rights to things, and people are going to start getting upset. And like I said, unless you can, and people were trying to say that too. They were like, oh yeah, people weren't watching it. People weren't geeked about it. No, people were. People were. Let me tell you, normies were, average people were. There was a lot of people watching that, and I think you're wrong there. I think you're really wrong there. And I think that they might go, hey, we're just going to lean towards a new fandom. Screw the people who love it, and that will be a problem. That will be a huge problem. Or somehow they'll salvage this, but I don't know how. What I'm saying is Peter Jackson has not said that he's on board at all, officially. They said that they've been in talks with anything that comes out from Warner Brothers. Amazon really don't care about nothing but putting out a big spectacle show. And like I said, thematically speaking, it's fine. It's good. It makes sense. I can see why us and people who really, really love this world would not like it, though. But I don't think dragging race, if you're immediately going to race, where's your argument? Where's your argument? Where's your argument? What is your argument? What is your debate? What is it? Because that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Tell me down in the comments. What is your debate if all you have to go off is race? That's the same thing as getting into an argument with somebody face to face and you have to drop racial slurs? That means you ain't got shit, man. That means you ain't got nothing. You better come up with some better shit talking then, and a better reason not to like me, or a better reason to come at me sideways than to just come at me for the color of my skin. You guys ain't got no leg to stand on. And then, like I said, I have not heard anybody bring up, well, Tolkien said this was the mythology of England, which would be Whitey McWhite. But none of you have said that. None of you said that. No, you want clicks and views. You want clicks and views. Look at me. You got it. You got it, okay? You got it. The only reason I say Morgoth and everything is, and even though I know we can't have that, is because I'm like, dragons, huge things, people would really be engaged with that. Then I'm like, okay, the Angmar thing is probably the next best, and I would love to see that, honestly. And I'm not a big prequel person, but that would be really cool. Stupid things like fan favorite Glorfindel. Yeah, to us, but to the people that we need on board. Don't be stupid, Middle-earth people. Don't be stupid out here. We are smarter than this, and we are better than this, first and foremost. Let me just say, we know who that is. Middle-earth people, I've been hyping you guys up as being one of the best fandoms, and now I don't know, because I'm like, wait, stop this madness. But we always were like, you can come on in, look but don't touch. Come to the White City. Come and check out the Shire. But don't touch. And if you want to talk that Middle-earth, you can talk that Middle-earth, but you better know your shit. But we let the average people in to look around, and because we know we need the money, we know we need the funding. That's what we know we need, and that's what the normies bring us. Same thing with Game of Thrones. Do you want to know why that was a juggernaut? Because the average people came in, not just the freaks like me and you. So I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Middle-earth people? Besides desecrating his legacy and going, hey, we hate people for a stupid reason, when his entire series about coming together and being cool with one another. What? Now, this is absurd. It's absurd. Come on now, and who wants a Gollum prequel? Who or what? No, we all know where Gollum ends up. I don't want that. And have the game, that's fine. I don't want that in the film version. That's dumb. That's stupid. No, stop this. Stop this madness. Tell the truth. Don't lie to people. Don't make a video lying to people. That's what I cannot stand. I've been over here yelling about the Dark Tower and shit. You think that I care? Like, come on, I got Roland of Gilead in my heart. Like, let's go. Let's talk about it then. Because you want to talk about bad adaptations? You want to talk about bad adaptations? I don't want to hear nobody crying. If you're a Dark Tower fan, you know what I'm talking about. Long story short, Amazon can make TV shows, but only about anything that has to do with Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. They can only use names and places in that. They cannot use the companion books. Over here at Warner Brothers, we can make movies and go a little bit farther. There's a little bit of more wiggle room, but not much. And then the Tolkien estate, who owns it all, okay? Okay, there we go. So whatever we get, I just hope it's good. I just hope it's adapted well. But some of these things, channels are willy-nilly thrown out. I'm like, okay, what are we doing with Aragorn? Okay, well, what are we doing with that? Okay, well, where are we going to that? Where is point A, B, and C? Because to make a film or a show, that is what you need. And I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds. I'm on OF, I'm on TikTok, I'm on all the crap down below. Yeah, what? Chill, man. This changed my life. Lord of the Rings changed my life. I love this world. I will go to the mat for Middle Earth all day, every day. I don't care. But what I'm not going to do is use cop-outs like race and things like that and a bunch of people who don't understand how film is made going, oh, we need a good adaptation. You're just saying words. You're just saying words. You're just saying we need a good adaptation, but you're not expressly saying this is what a movie needs. This is what a film needs. Like, and then don't say Peter Jackson's involved. He's not involved. Like, come on now. Fandom, you're smarter than this. You're smarter than this. Don't do this.